Hi, Gaz. Are you all right?
Yeah, grand you.
Yeah, not so bad, thank you. The internet went down at the club. I think
We
that's
can't be
why.
champions at everything.
Well,
Gordon, Gordon, send more house to save the house.
okay. Welcome to the Housecast. We've got a special episode this week where we're focusing on the achievements of the second team that have had a brilliant season, and it culminated with them being promoted last weekend and then winning the league this weekend. So we've got two great guests on with Dec Stansfield, who's the captain, and Charlie Bithell, who I think is the vice captain, but I think that's right.
There's a few. We've got a few vices,
It,
Joe.
it,
To
it
be
depends who
honest,
you ask, Joe.
yeah,
Got a
our
lead.
vice
Plenty
haven't
of,
been played this season, but
I was
a lot of
gonna
vices from what I've heard.
The second team are operating with a leadership team, which is great. The vice captain that you mentioned then that hasn't played a lot this year, I think there is a line of questioning that we could probably go down on.
right, I reckon you could have 2,000 guesses, and I don't think you guess who it is.
Yeah.
That's great. And we've got Gary Morehouse here as well. How are you, guys?
Great, Joe. Good to see you.
You too. How are you getting on?
Yeah, we're grand. Like you say, it's starting to draw in a bit, isn't it? But good point for end it season. But no, yeah, we're all good down here, mate. We're all good.
Good stuff. All right. We'll make a start. So Dec, obviously, congratulations, and Charlie, congratulations for winning the league at the weekend. It's a really great achievement, and a lot of hard work throughout the year. Talk us through the game at the weekend, and what your kind of thoughts and feelings were around it. Obviously, you're already promoted, but this was the chance to seal the league title. What were your kind of initial thoughts when you started that weekend?
Well, I know we'd already got promotion, but there were a few nerves going into it because it did feel a tiny bit like a cup final because we knew if we won, obviously if Green Mountain had got beat, then we'd have won anyway. But we just thought do the job ourselves and then kind of take that out of the equation. But it felt like a cup final because we put a bit of pressure on ourselves because I'm going to be honest, we bought a couple of bottles of champagne and we bought beers and stuff, and we thought we were like booking days off work, so it'd all look a bit silly if then we had to win it at Rishton this weekend. So we thought, and we knew that they were going to be a decent crowd as far as second team crowds go. So we thought, yeah, there's a tiny bit more pressure on the game. Oh, I hope who's here, Mr. Beneducci.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, what going on, Joe?
What have I missed? Has Declan said anything amusing or interesting yet? No.
He was just getting into it, so
Yeah, I were just before you interrupted, to be honest, Joe.
What, man?
Yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, we treat it a bit like a cup final, but we knew East Lancs have had quite a decent season themselves. So we thought we knew it weren't going to be a stroll in the park, but we had a decent side out. So yeah, we were quietly confident. Obviously, like I say, with champagne bought, etc. But we just knew we had to finish the job off. As far as the game went, obviously, I had a look at the pitch early doors, and I had a ball for Stuart every time that we toss up and I lose. Stuart always puts on the website or on the scorecard that I've won the toss. So we lost the toss, and not Enfield, East Lang bowled. I would have bowled, to be honest with you. The track were quite wet, but we said before the game anything over 150, 160 should be definitely competitive. We managed to drag it to over 200, to be fair, after a bit of a shaky start. So yeah, so we kind of knew at half time that we were in with a decent shout. Obviously, with our bowling attack, I think if we'd have got 140, I'd have been quietly confident. And obviously, they got, I think, what did they get, Chaz?
120. If that,
Yeah,
I think it's. But before we move on to the bowling attack, with it being quite a tricky first innings, especially at the start, with quite a sticky poppy wicket, where we lost a few early wickets, and Dec really epitomised what we've been working on all season, and had that skipper's innings where he anchored it for us and set up for the likes of Joe Sharp, Yanis, and Kiro to come in at the end and score some runs. I mean, what did you end on? 56?
56 of 90 balls.
Yeah. Not that he was counting all the way through. But I mean, I came out with probably around 50 for 4. And me and Dec said, let's try and back the next 10 overs. Let's get rid of these opening bowlers. And then one of us kick on. Unfortunately, I got out, but Dec went forward and did the job. And I think it's important to highlight that, because I think without that knock, we might have been in quite a bit of trouble.
Well, we spoke at drinks, didn't we, Charles? And we just said, I think you're right. I think we were 50 for 4 maybe. And then we just said, I think we just need a 40-50 partnership here to get us up to 100. And
we
then,
did.
Yeah, which we did. And then for Sharpie to come in who can express himself more down the order, I think we did fine. And then the lower order, to be fair, Kiro, Yanis, Jax,
Ollie
Will. They all kind of did a decent job at the end of the innings. So like I said, we were definitely confident at half time, and then the bowling display was just what we've been doing all year, really.
And just on the batting, obviously the lower order pitched in and played pretty well this weekend. Is that something that has happened a lot this year for the second team, or have you been sort of like front loading at the top? I know obviously we'll get onto it later, but there's been some really strong performances this year by some players in the second team. How typical is that? Kind of where you've been 40 for 4 or 60 for 4 and so on, and you've kind of drawn it back. Is that something that you kind of pride yourselves on, kind of gone through?
As someone who bats in that mid to lower order, while there has been times where, likes of myself, Kiro, have had to step up and get a few runs, I think we have been fortunate this season in the quality of our upper order. I mean, Will Norcross has got over 600 runs. You've got yourself, Dec. You've got Dec Metcalf. You've got Keegan, all of which are scoring.
Shortcut.
I think I looked at it midweek. I think we've got 6 or 7 lads who are all scoring over 200 and 250 runs this season. So while there has been times where we've had to back down the order, I think that's more of a luxury than a need that we've had this season. So, I mean, you look at the weekend team and you've got, I think Sharpie came in at 7, was it? Kiro at 8.
Sharpie 7. He must be one of the best second team 7s in that second ever. Sharpie's seriously got some serious talent and strength.
You've got lads there batting down to number 8 who have all got second team 50s. Yeah. That's a luxury, and it has been needed on the odd occasion. Crompton at home.
Yeah, Crompton at home.
That was one when Sharpie came in and got 70. Was that Walsden at home?
Enfield away as well.
Yeah. So we've had to do it, but it's not something that I think has been pivotal to our season. It certainly helped.
You've got 5 lads who've got 350 plus.
Yeah.
And that is not including Simi or Sharpie. They don't feature in that.
I think Simi'd have to play more than 4 games, wouldn't he?
Yeah. He'd be able to run between wickets, probably. That'd help him as well, wouldn't it?
But I think when it comes to Sharpie, I mean, he's just fallen foul of coming back from university at a time where the team are flying. All lads are scoring runs, and he's had to wait and buy his time, but he has done. And gosh, when he's come in, he's made a serious difference.
And he has won us a game batting down there.
Yeah.
Who were the 70 odd against Walsden?
I think it was. I think it's quite a luxury being able to, if we've got a bit more time left or there's been a bit of an early collapse, I can go in who probably doesn't bat as splashy Sharpie, but happy to occupy an end, work the runs, and then save Sharpie and have that firepower, because that coming down the order is dangerous to have there. But that's not saying that he shouldn't be higher up and couldn't be higher up.
No, it definitely could. And I know it's a bit of a cliche, and I know a lot of teams like to say, but we genuinely do think we bat down to 11, because we have most of the weeks. Jack's batted at 11 the week just gone, but normally Ollie Will's batting at 11, and Ollie Will he'd be batting in a lot of the teams who we played against in this division this year. He will be batting in the top 4 or 5, and that's no joy. He does know what end of the bat to hold. But it's just, I think we'll on about Sharpie again, Charlie. We have got the thing where if there's 25 overs gone and then we've only lost 4 wickets, we'll send Charlie in. We'll send Sharpie in to try and put back to ball a bit quicker. But if we have a bit of a collapse, Charlie does go in and kind of hold an end up and then try and set it up. But going back to your question earlier, Joe Martin, we've not really had to use them batters a lot down the bottom of the order. But when we have, they really have. I think we've been bowled out off the top of my head 4 or 5 times, if that. I wouldn't even say it's that, would you?
Probably not.
So that is they definitely all can back down there.
Yeah, just to back your point up there, Dec, Kiro's played 23 games. He's only batted 13 times.
Yeah.
Right. He comes in after me.
Kieran on the bats 8 and 9.
Yeah. I mean, Sharp is a great lad as well, isn't he? He's brilliant to have around. I know when I see him at training and stuff and have a chat with him, he like really cares about his.
Yeah, so he's very enthusiastic.
And he throws himself about in the field, and he's got a good pair of hands on him, and stuff. So you can rely on him. And it was really great to see him get 70 odd the other week. So yeah, and hopefully that can continue. I know there's only a couple of games left of them, but you can take that and then take it into next year as well. Let's move quickly on to like the bowling innings. Obviously, you've got a decent score and you're happy with it, probably well above par. Plans for when you're going out to bowl in that kind of situation? What are you? Obviously, there's an eye on the prize a little bit later on to try and win the league. But what's your kind of message and what do you think around that?
I think when we went out, Dec made a great point at half time and said, lads, we need to complete the job here because we've scored 200 odd. We're feeling quite good with a defendable score. You kind of kept all our excitement in to a degree. The plan, as always, was to try and bowl in tight areas, but Dec always backs myself and Ollie to attack the stumps and to try and claim wickets with quite aggressive fields. Especially in this second division, we found that after you may be top 4, especially top 5 batters, the tails are quite long. And against East Lancs, we played them in the cup and in the league already. We knew that they're going to come at us quite hard. So myself and Ollie, after batting on their both said it's all about lengths. Let's try and set up the lengths, get them to push at us, and fielders just back our bowlers up. They came quite hard at us, trying to score a quick rate, but we picked up wickets at regular intervals, and it turned into quite a routine performance. As we say, I think we used 4 bowlers.
Yeah, 4 bowlers.
4 bowlers. Yeah. We used 2 the week before. So again, we've been quite fortunate to take those early wickets to front load the pressure.
It weren't really the track to be. Once a bowler settled in, you thought with that track, he needs to, because like Charlie said, it's all about length, and East Lancs were going to come hard, and it was not the track to come hard. So Ollie and Charlie settled in really well, and then so did Shawkat and Yanis. But before because like I said to you before, Joe, we knew we had an eye on the Greenmount game, and at the start of the game, we needed 5 points, but Greenmount didn't bowl. Were it Middleton they played?
No, it was Walsden.
It was Walsden, so Greenmount didn't bowl Walsden out, so we knew we only needed 3 points, which is 7 wickets. So when Francois played them couple of games with us, he just said, set targets about what you want to do, and then aim for them targets. So we said, why don't we have the 7 wickets as the target, but not as the end goal? Because I think we got the 7th wicket, or I think it might have been 6 at drinks. And I said, as soon as we get these 7 wickets, don't just let it slip now and then. How crap would it be if East Lancs knocked them off, or they were 9 down? It'd just be an anticlimax. So we just thought, we celebrate the 7th wicket. We knew we won the league, but we thought, why don't we wait until we've got the job done, and then we can have a proper celebration when we get the 10. So there were a tiny bit of thought went into it, I suppose.
And I'm going to ask you that, Dec, because I was watching a bit on stream and knew the same thing about the just needing 7 down, and I wondered what the reaction was, whether the word you were actually aware of that, or whether the word had got through, or whether you were just all going to just try and keep it in or whatever. But it was clear and obvious you knew the drill, and and good to see, actually. Good to see that you could
just been
share that all together at that point.
Yeah. It had just been a massive anticlimax. If we'd have let standards drop, they win, or we don't bowl them out. It'd still have been a good celebration, but it wouldn't have felt as good as Ollie catching that catch at long on and then his all running there. It had no chance felt as good as that.
Yeah. And bowling wise, you've got the top 3 bowlers in the league wickets wise.
Yeah.
By certainly Shawkat by a distance, and then Ollie and Charlie following up. So and I think I don't know the stats. Joe Dooch might be more on it than me, but whereas the first team have had a method of batting first, etc., I sense that your games have been a bit more bat split between chasing and setting targets. So I think when you see the batting and bowling figures as they are, those have been probably gained in a lot of different circumstances. So again, that's a good sign of being able to adapt and play to the conditions or play to the game situation, as you go through.
Yeah. Well, I think we said just after halfway through the season, we've won games in all ways this year. Every way you can win a game, we've won it. And obviously, the first team, they've got the tactic where they win toss, they bat on most days. I mean, they've got so much brute force when they can afford to do that. But sometimes we have got to have a look on the day and think what's best, what's the pitch looking like, what's best to suit us. I think we are probably. Well, we're just going to say our bowling is our biggest strength, but then you think about our batting. But
I think we're equal sort of strength. I think. Yeah. I mean, while we have our tactics, I'd like to point out that every boiling hot day where there's not a cloud in the sky, Dec seems to lose the toss and have us bowling first, which I've been really overjoyed about this season. But we've split it quite evenly. We've done it in all ways, and as Dec says, we've had situations, especially the very first game of the season against Greenmount, where you look at games and think we shouldn't have won that game.
And last season we'd have lost. I said it on the podcast that came on earlier.
Sure.
We're getting winning situations and losing. It seems like we've just got into a habit of winning this year.
But that comes with winning. It comes with, a lot of the lads gaining an extra year of experience, gaining the experience of going down and gaining that bit of firepower.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you look at the league table, you've got more bowling points than anybody else in the league. So that strikes me as that you're bowling teams out pretty frequently.
Yeah, most weeks.
Yeah, and possibly in the kind of. I mean, you must be bowling teams out pretty frequently because you've only lost one game, so you can't really pick up any bonus point. So it's really great to see that. And for obviously both of you played last year, and it was a probably fair to say challenging season. It was your first season as captain, Dec, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Lots of young players playing. And if you think about last season and what you've achieved this season, how does that feel? Kind of what are you kind of taking from that?
Well, I was speaking to Gav about it in the bar on Sunday, and he kind of summed it up perfectly. So he said they were quite a bit because I'm going to call it a disaster. It obviously was a disaster. We got relegated, but I felt I learned a lot from it. I felt the team learned a lot from it. But he said there were a fair bit of pressure on you lot at the start of this year you lot and me as a captain, because if we bomb out this year, finish fourth, and then and I know people don't do it on purpose, but then people will kind of start losing a bit of belief, and then I'd think, is it the right thing for me? Because we had a good season the season before when I didn't captain, so I were thinking, like you do, don't you think the worst all the time? But it's just onto this year. I'm just so glad how we've responded. I knew we'd have a chance because I knew we had a good team. Towards the back end of last season, I think I said on my earlier podcast, we did start pulling a few results together, and it did start looking a bit more promising. But I didn't think it was going to go this well, Joe. I mean, we've lost one game, so it does feel that the losing one game, it's probably something like in a 2-3 month, I'll look back on it and think, wow, that's like, I know it's only second division, second team, but you still got to win these games, aren't you? And it's something that I'm really proud of, and it makes me even more prouder that it's on the back of what happened last season. So yeah, it makes me sleep easier at night anyway.
What about you, Chaz? I mean,
I think the first feeling was relief. I think that as a cricket club goes, it's quite rare that you have the gap that was between our first team and our second team last year in terms of performance. The first team were doing well, getting to finals, whereas we, as Dec said, it was a bit of a disaster season. So I think this season we all felt deep down that we had something to prove, and there is relief that we've shown that. Did I ever doubt it? I didn't think it would go this well, but you look around that changing room and you look at the lads and the talent that they have, and you just thought it's all about it clicking, and it did. I mean, you've got the lads who we call the youngies in the team, the likes of Keegan, Ollie, Joel, Dec Metcalf, they're all playing this is the 4th year of senior cricket now.
I'd say some more.
Some even more. I mean, I know that myself and Dec are young lads at 25 and 26, but we've got over 20 years of senior cricket between us. So I think it's come nicely together at a point now where I'm looking at next season thinking, how far can we take this? I think it's also key that we came back up because we know we've got a talented squad, and you worry about there being lads in the dressing room who don't want to play in Division 2 second team cricket and where that might leave you as a club, and then the knock-on effect that that could have for the first team in terms of could any second teamers push it and try and crack into it. But I think as this season's gone on, and especially from last season, myself and Dec have grown as a team as well. I think, while we've always been mates, we've learned to trust each other and sort of, if Dec's bowling or I'm bowling and something's not right in the field, there won't be any chance to just like do that. And there's a bit more synergy going on, which I think has certainly helped us.
It's a necessity as well, really. You can't just have. I'm not saying it was like this last year, Charlie, but you can't just have one person doing the job. And I think there's 2 or 3 of us. I know Kira and Will like to help out, as we call us the oldies, us lot. But there's just a really good camaraderie and stuff in the team. And I feel like we've not on purpose as such, but we did have a conversation at the start of the season saying we need to create an atmosphere where because last year as well, availability was shocking, and you kind of got thinking, the lads actually want to turn up, or they just, Jackson's one on his own, as we've discussed, but the lads actually just want to turn up, or is it just an excuse? So we said at the start of this year, let's create a nice atmosphere for everyone to want to turn up. And obviously, like Dude just said before, winning games, it makes people want to turn up, doesn't it? So I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I
think the key to a good team on the pitch is having a great dressing room, and I think that this year we've strengthened that more than we can describe. And I think that having lads who want to play for each other as well as a club has been key to us sort of rectifying the problems from last year, where our heads had dropped when we're in a sticky situation, or nobody had really take the game by the scruff of the neck and win it for us. So as I say, hopefully going on to next season, we'll see how far we can take it in that league too.
Yeah.
You're on mute, Joe. Duke's on mute. That's a callback.
Leave him there.
Sorry about that. Joe Martin had never answered this question, Dec and Charlie, but I'm going to ask you. You know a lot of the clubs in that top division. You've played against all of them probably before.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts going into that? Where, if you look at that league table now, where do you think you can sort of finish? Where do you think you can get the team to next year? Obviously, Great Harwood and Colne are going to drop out of that top division.
I think, Great Harwood getting relegated is a massive shock, because they were a really good side last season, and I have been keeping an eye on that. And I know a couple of their lads have. I think one of them scored 700 and odd, one of them scored 500 and odd, so they must be struggling with bowlers. Personally, I think I'm not saying we're going to go and win League and Cup, and I'm not getting too giddy, but I think I'd be happy with a halfway finish. I'd be happy with surviving straight away, but I think we've got definitely the squad to do it, definitely the ability. But the something that is giving me a bit of confidence this year, for next year, is a game that's happened this year. We got absolutely hammered, but we played Littleborough in the cup, and I think it was a rain affected game. I think Littleborough got 180 odd, and the bowler was out for 89. But that scorecard is a bit kind to Littleborough, because they had their full strength side out, and we had, I think Charlie were missing, Shawkat were missing,
Shawkat and Keegan.
Keegan were missing, and that's 3 of our main players. And I think them 3, not saying we'd have won the game, but it'd have been very close. And I think Littleborough second or third.
Yeah. I mean, Todd at top of the league, and we scored, I think, 257 against them.
I think. We beat Todd in the friendly.
We beat Todd in the friendly, and their squad for that day was largely the team they have now. I mean, looking at the teams that I think I wouldn't be worried to play anyone, but the teams I'd be thinking of the most challenging games.
Burnley.
Todd, with where they are, Burnley, with their experience, the likes of Steve Brunt and Gareth Halley still playing, and then
thought he retired, Gaz Halley.
Oh, he came back, didn't he? And then Littleborough.
What are you doing there, Joe?
I think, as Dec said, it's a shame that Littleborough game we didn't have a full strength side out. I think if we did, it would have been interesting to take, because missing Keegan and Shawkat's missing your number 4 and 5 batter, missing me on top of that, you're probably losing about somewhere between 20 and 30 overs in a cup game. I'd like to think we can push top 5.
Yeah, like I say, I'd be happy with survival, but I'd be happy with 4, 5, and 6. To be honest, I'd be happy with anything above bottom 2, like I said.
But there's another dynamic as well, isn't there? With you're going up a step in terms of the quality of cricket you're playing, which is then closer to the first 11 itself, and people you'll be playing against will have been playing in first 11 cricket that season as well, and will have come down into there. So I think the other incentive on personal levels as well is, shine and do well this season as well. And you are more so knocking on the first team door than possibly you would have been this season, in the sense, I'm not, Joe might be able to, and he may not say this, but it's a bigger gamble, if you like, isn't it, to take somebody from Div 2 in the seconds or something to top of the first team. And there hasn't been a great deal of opportunity because of the way the first team have been playing and the individuals have been performing. But I think, if they hopefully carry on and do that again next year, then again, chances might be limited. But should they lose 2 or 3 games, or some availability issues, then you guys are going to have to, be ready to step up there. And you're playing at a higher standard. It's going to be not easier to step up, but less challenging, I would suggest.
Ben openly said to me at the start of this year, I think he might have said it to the group, he said to be challenging for first team places, you're going to have to be averaging 60 or 70 in that league with bat. It is what it is, because the standard is further off than the top division. It's been evident this year on it, how far the standard is. But yeah,
he said he don't want 50s and 60s, he wants 130s. He said that's what he said.
Yeah, that's true, and it's fair enough. To be fair, it is fair enough with how strong the first team is. You cannot grumble at that.
No.
And to be fair, Keegan's getting his chance at weekend, and I couldn't speak highly of Keegan. I couldn't speak. This is a bit of a different conversation, but I think Keegan is more than capable of getting 60 or 70 this weekend in the first team. He really is. Is that fluent and got that much technique and ability?
I think coming back to the crack in the first team, it's a tough nut to crack, and there's no hiding. You've got a first team that have won the division, quite early on, and it'd be very hard to push that from a second division, second team standpoint. But
we knew that.
We all knew that coming in, but we are a group of lads who aspire to play in the first team. And I think that, like Francois alluded to last podcast, as and when a chance becomes available, whether that be for somebody retiring, moving on, unavailable with injury, work, whatever, it would be nice to have a second team that are there ready to step up and take that, rather than the first team feel they need to, recruit from elsewhere. So I think that should be a personal aim for all the lads in the twos next year, to make it so that when the first team can call in, we'd be ready.
Just gives it more substance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Gives a decent performance more substance, because it's just the level below, should I say a couple of levels below.
Yeah.
But it's the highest we've got, it's the highest chance we've got of putting a performance in and then putting his name in the ring.
Brilliant.
I want you to talk to us about some of the kind of key players in the second team this year. Obviously, yourselves are included in that. But as we've kind of mentioned, there's some really fantastic performance of the ball and some equally great performance of the bat. Let's talk about some of those players. If I throw some names out, if you want to kind of...
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, go.
Let's go Will Norcross first.
Do you want me to go Will, or do you want to take Will?
You can do Will for now. I might chip in.
How old is he, Will?
27.
He's the oldest 27-year-old I've ever met in my life. His gear smells really bad. He needs some new batting gloves. He needs new pads. He needs new everything.
New helmet.
Yeah, new helmet. But it's just the way he bats, watching him, just phenomenal. Honestly, it really is. He just bats with so much confidence and flair. It feels like, because Will didn't play for a few years. I think he had a bit of a sabbatical, and then he started back in thirds, and then we all thought
captain came back.
Yeah. So I think he got back in the seconds 2 or 3 years ago, but we all kind of thought, oh, Will's coming back, when we didn't know him as well, and when we weren't as much friends as we are now with him. We all thought Will's coming back. Good lad, probably might slot in 6 and 7. And then the season before last, they just found a completely different gear, didn't it?
Yeah, there was a game we played at Darwin away where I said to him, "Oh, do you fancy batting at 3?" And he said, "No, I don't fancy it today. I've not really had much of a bat." So I ended up batting at 3, and he came in at 7. And I was at the other end thinking, my word, like, why is he batting at 7? So then I said to him next week, "Look, can you bat at 3?" He said, "Well, I won't get another chance." I said, "No, you won't." So he took that chance, and then I think he scored 50, 30, another 50. And
he got 3 50s on bounce, I'm sure he did.
Did he? So 50, 50, 50. And he stormed from there. I mean, the thing with Will is anything that's full and straight, is going straight back. He plays really so lovely with the straight bat. And it pains me to say it, but, this year he's been pivotal to our success.
And he's the best batter in the division statistically. So when you've got him walking out at 3.
How's his knee these days?
His knee's all right. It's his back now, Joe. He was batting last week.
When he got 60.
When he got
60 hours.
Yeah. And I think he'd been out there for 3 overs and he called asking for something. So I ran out, he said, I need some paracetamol, my back's going.
Just his age.
Yeah, it's his age.
Yeah, and how much Guinness he drinks, I reckon.
But he doesn't have much chance other than when he's batting for his knee. We send him to deep cover early on, and he just stays out there. I think the less hurdles, the better.
It's when he's actually fielding on boundary, or should I say 15 metres in from the boundary, he spends more time talking to Kathy than us.
Yeah, so asking if she's got sun cream on.
Yeah, Kathy's sun cream. And he actually misfielded a ball because he would turn around, stood talking to Kathy, asking if she had sun cream on.
How much of a fine's that?
Oh yeah, he got fined. He got fined accordingly, Gary.
Let's talk about Dec Metcalf.
So Mecky is a really reliable and talented opening batter. He struggled a little bit at the start of the year, and he won't mind me saying this. I think he tried to make some adjustments over winter, and his sort of run-scoring shots, which were originally flicking off of his legs or driving through the covers, he found a bit harder to get away. He grafts. He really works hard. I know him and Sharpie go down together midweek and practice outside training times. And it's sort of all come together in the last ever since Crompton away, where he scored a century.
See, I think it would come in a lot before that. He
got a few awful. He got an LBW at Baker, which was horrendous.
Yeah.
But
and Church.
He's been fouled of some bad decisions, but he's grafted his way back into form. And I think, you look long term in the second team with Dec Mech, if, hopefully he stays for as long as he can. And, we hope he pushes on into our first team. But he's a really solid player who really takes away the bad ball but knows to keep that stability and bats with a sensible head, which is quite useful given that we've got Keegan and Jackson in our mid order. Can bowl a bit of part-time leg spin, which is good for picking up a few wickets.
And seam up.
And seam up in the nets.
We've seen it nets.
And he's got the safest pair of hands, or one of, in the second team, I'd say, other than last week when he dropped one off my bowling. But we'll let that slide.
What I'd say about Dec is that it not really about cricket, but when he came into the team, obviously you all know Dec is he was quite a shy, timid lad, but this last year, couple of years, it's been good to see him come out of himself.
Definitely.
And get a lot more involved with the lads, and you could tell he really enjoys being there and really enjoys being a part of the team. So that's obviously, I think his batting goes without saying, but just watching him come out of himself as his own character, really, it speaks volume. It also speaks volumes for us, what we're doing, that we can make it a comfortable environment for everyone.
Definitely, that's a great point.
I mean, on his batting is a great player. But when you look at the team, yourself, Dec, Will Norcross, Keegan, Sharpie, that are quite expansive players. Dec seems to be able to maybe go at his own pace and absorb a bit of the pressure to allow the other people to bat as they do. I don't know if that's true, but it seems to be when I look at the scorecards and I see how Dec bats, quite measured. But as you say,
it's calculated.
Yeah,
and I think that's really useful. I mean, if you look at our top order yourself, Dec, you're a lot more expressive. Keegan, Simi, Sharpie, even Shortcut, Dec Mech is a really good anchor to have to bat around. But
he can course.
He can score quick. Anything short goes.
He's not hitting 5-6s in innings, but he times it so well. So sorry to interrupt, Charlie, but he does time the ball so well, and anything that's too full or too short, a bad ball, he will put away. He's brilliant at capitalising on the badder balls.
I mean, let's talk about the main man now that we all want to talk about, Jackson.
I thought you were going to say Shortcut then.
No, sure he's going to come
Jackson.
Lovely lad who's broke into the team this year, I think.
Yeah.
No. Jack, when he's available, can be really destructive. He showed that away
in the changing room or his batting.
Well, no, we'll start off as he comes in. So he comes in every game, probably about 10 minutes late with his kit in a bag for life.
Yeah.
He doesn't bring any warm-up gear or any gear for after the game, so he often warms up in whites that are too small for him. He gets quite carried away in the football warm-up, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Starts calling people
names. He was holding off imaginary defenders away at Accrington, doing tricks with no ball near him. And then in the field, he's more abusive to his own bowlers than the batters.
Yeah, that's a fact.
but he's a great lad.
Yeah,
he's a fantastic lad to have. He's reliable in the field and batting. That he can score runs quick, he can play shots, and he'll say it himself that he's got as much chance of scoring a 90 in the first team as he does of scoring a 90 in the fourth team. It's just the way he plays.
And you're never going to change him for love and money.
No, I've obviously played a bit of cricket with Jack. And my favourite ever Jack Sim moment was when he's the string in his whites.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Still not sorted, Joe.
Gaz, the string in his whites had come out. So rather than getting a new pair, he pulled his whites up, tied the string round his waist, and then folded the top of his pants over to keep them...
he does not care one bit. He just doesn't care at all.
And any
He's
time
like a Devon farmer.
Yeah. Anytime he had to readjust them straight away.
He's lost the drawstring now, Joe.
Has he? That's a shame.
Yeah, so he was running at East Lancs, and after every run, he had to pull his t-shirt back down over his belly and his pants back up to his waist.
Yeah. Luckily for him, his belly's growing now, so his pants are staying up a bit more. Now he don't really need that string anymore.
Yeah.
My highlight play cricket with Jack Simmer when his mum used to come and watch and bring us like a massive tub of sweets.
Yeah, that. I thought you were just going to leave it at the first sentence, then, Joe.
Let's talk about some bowlers. Ollie Williams.
You want to go?
Yeah, Ollie's grown into his own this season. He's an intelligent bowler. Well, not intelligent outside of bowling, but he sets his own plan. He knows his field and he knows what he's going to do with it. He's his own worst enemy. He gets bright red and shouts at himself when he's bowling. But I think he's been unlucky not to probably get a few more wickets.
He bowls
the
areas
tight.
where they get good players out, and some of the lads who've been playing against, they can't get near him.
But then it was really nice to see him get, that 7 for Aki was his first even fifer. He really deserved that.
That amazed me.
I was shocked. Yeah. But he bowls, nice paced away swing, bowls to tight areas, can field quite well, and he's handy to have down the road.
Salmon is a great fielder. Unbelievable.
Very good catch on Sunday.
Yeah, it was a good catch.
You've got a great pair of hands. When we do the fielding on a Tuesday and Thursday, and you do the 4 corners, he's always man for the win.
It's just the size of his hands, isn't it? But he's also, what I would say about Ollie, he works incredibly hard as well. Really hard.
Let's talk about Showcat, an enigma. Unbelievable bowler, isn't it?
It's that trump card. Like, teams think on the odd occasions where Charlie and Ollie don't start really well, and teams think, oh yeah, we're in with Show here. It's just that trump card to put on. And it is quite comical to watch the batters playing sometimes, because they
play 3 shots.
Yeah, they play 3 shots before the ball's even got to him. He genuinely, as a lad, he's another one, same as Dec. Obviously, I'm not going to lie, there is a tiny bit of a language barrier there, but he does. We do try and communicate with him the best we can, and he is getting better with it, definitely. But as far as he's like I say, he's like that. He's coming out of his cell a bit more, showing more of his personality, and he fits in well, because he genuinely is daft as a brush.
Comes in a bright red and blue striped bucket hat most weeks.
He tried to field in it last week.
He tried to field in it at Crompton away.
Yeah, he did.
He's intelligent. He bowls well. He's our trump card. He's our get out of jail card, and he can bat well. I think he came in at Middleton and scored a quick 50. I think he signed it off with a reverse scoop that went for 6.
Yeah, he's got so much talent. Yeah. So much talent. Honestly, I go as far to say he's one of the. He's up there with Keegan for the talent batting wise. I think he's just sometimes he just gets out in a bit daft ways. He has got so much talent. He's brilliant because obviously he's left-handed with the ball coming across him. He's fantastic. But
you trust him as well. He's one of those that if he has a bad start when he bowls a few expensive overs, you think you're going to give him the ball because he will find his rhythm and he'll get. Yeah. There was one game that I captained at Rottenstall and they came at us really hard, and me and Ollie were getting hit at probably out 10s, and I brought him and he got 5 wickets and just won us the game.
Yeah,
it's tough still.
It's so tough.
Yeah, he can field. Yeah, he has got decent hands.
His main issue is when you're getting a catch, even if it's diving with the ball going over, he'll shout easy catch before it hits your hands.
Or if it's within a 50-metre vicinity of him, he will think it's his catch. So he will go for that catch no matter what. Even if Kiro's got big gloves on.
Kiro ran for him like a train at Middleton.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think there's only one winner between.
Yeah, you know.
There was.
And he were the winner, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant.
Shawcat's stats are really impressive though, aren't they? Because he's like we said already, he's top of the league wicket taking.
Is he averaging 9, Gaz?
Sorry?
Is he averaging 9?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to say 43 wickets at 9 and a wicket every 2.5 overs.
Yeah.
You know, that's good going any standard. It doesn't matter. You know, that's consistent bowling. He's not like he's got, you know, he's had 4 or 5 fers. It's not like he's just had, you know, 3 or 4 games taking 7 and 8 and then crap for the rest of it. It looks like he's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
He's reliable.
Sometimes the other thing about that, Gaz, is thing that makes it even more impressive. I talked to Blaise about this on Sunday when we were watching the game. He does go for runs as well because the batters are clueless.
Yeah.
So they take the nuclear option of just trying to whack him.
Exactly.
They're not working him into onside and taking a one every other ball. They try and smash him to the moon. Occasionally, obviously, they get hold of one, but he usually has the last laugh.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not doing it too often. If he's averaging, you know, 9 a wicket or whatever, is it economy 3.5? But I take your point. You can get away with a couple of balls and appear to be expensive for a short while, but like you say, he'll come good.
Yeah, I mean, he had a really good T20 campaign as well in the.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's got 4 wickets in the semi-final.
So he can get good players out, can't he? It's not a fluke.
Yeah, and generally through the whole of the kind of group games as well, he would. So you know, another season of that under his belt. I think he is one of those players in the second team that you would say can definitely make that move into the first team. He's got bowling is, as you say, really accurate, and his stats as you out, Gary, are fantastic.
Obviously, I've never captained the first team, and I don't think I'd highly doubt I ever will. But it is when I put him onto bowl. That's
all right.
I can imagine it's kind of what it feels like putting a pro on, where you might be going for a bit, but then you kind of know that he's going to come on and he's definitely going to have an impact on it. I can't think of a time where I put him onto ball where he hasn't had an impact on the game. More often, obviously, like Gaz said, wicket every 2.5 overs, it'll come quite quickly.
Yeah.
Because obviously in our division, I know. Well, I've spoken to my dad about it, and they do research on other bowlers. There's no chance East Lancs batters are researching how Shawcats bowls. So when he bowls a couple of leg spinners and then one turns and he doesn't just turn the other way, it'll absolutely rag the other way. Then they're thinking, what on earth is this? So he's in the red then. So that's where Joe Dooch is right, where they'll just think, I'm just going to have to try and take him for as many as I can while I can get to pitch a ball. And then the fate.
Yeah, that's great, brilliant. I mean, you've obviously got a great team and a great atmosphere in the team this year. I think for this last part,
Joe, just before we move on to that section, we've got the leading wicket takers, the leading run scorers. We've also got the leading dismissals.
Yeah, Kiro actually won it last year as well.
Yeah. So, you know, we got the top dogs in all 3 disciplines.
I mean, that's brilliant, Gaz. I mean, that should really give them confidence for next year, shouldn't it? To kind of take in.
Yeah, definitely.
It's 33 dismissals, and the next Greenbank's keeper, assuming it's a keeper, he's got 25. So, you know, again, he's
one of them were a rogue, weren't it? One of them 25. He should actually have 24.
Talk us through that, Joe.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Gaz. I mean, how confident would you guys be of you know, those players that are currently top of those averages and other players in the team replicating that again? Obviously, when you look at, so, you know, is the capability there for somebody to take 40, 50 wickets from that second? Someone to go 600-700 runs?
I'm going to say they have all done it. Kiro's done it. Will's done it. I think Will finish 3rd in the batting prize?
Well, when we went down, Dec finished second.
Sorry, Dec finished 2nd, then Will were 3rd the year before.
Yeah.
Kiro's won the bowling, won the wicket keeping award last year. Shawcat had backing to get anyone out. So I think these lads, they've kind of already done it to some extent. I think Shawcat's more than capable of getting 40, 50 wickets. Definitely, if we get a full season out of him, who knows what's going to happen with Shawcat if he's at farmhouse biscuits or anything. But yeah, I think they're all capable, Joe, definitely.
Yeah. This last part, because we're obviously coming up to time, is I want you to try and think about some of the kind of key games from this year that have sort of kind of defined your season and have really made that difference, that probably give you that belief that yes, we're a good team and yes, we're going to go on and win this league. Can you pinpoint a couple of games that you think really highlight that for you?
I've got a few. There must have been 5 or 6 times this season where I've come off the pitch saying I think that's my favourite game of all time.
Yeah.
But they're actually one game, the first game where I thought we're in with a shout, where I weren't even playing. And I think it was Enfield at home. I think I were on holiday, but I was watching on the stream and I knew that Enfield would be up there with us because they came down with us last year. And I were panicking a bit about the game because we had a bit of a weakened team out. I can't remember who were missing. But I thought, and then the lads did a real job on Enfield. So I thought we've got because obviously we had the good win against Greenmount before that. So I thought we've got a chance here if we can keep a decent squad together. We had a good win away at Walsden, again with a weaker side. Who Walsden struggling a bit recently, but back then they were getting some wins together. Walsden. Another point that I was going to make, I think the squad that we've got, the players who haven't been playing every week are a lot more. They've performed a lot better this year. So and with that Walsden game, you had Harvey Elliott come in, who opened the ball extremely well. So that were a game where I thought, really, obviously Will got 1-8 in that game, and then both Crompton games as well, because Crompton are a decent. Obviously, when you beat Enfield and Greenmount, that's when we beat Enfield at their place. That were obviously a good win. But the Crompton game, I think you near enough won that game on your own, didn't you, Charles? I think Charlie got 50. I think did we limit to 180?
Maybe 160.
160, 170, and then did you get 4
for?
Yeah, but then the Crompton game, I think they only needed 60 with 8 overs left.
The Crompton game, they were 50 for none because we had to change up the ball and because of the winds.
Yeah, we did.
And it was one of those where if they batted the time, they were going to get the runs, and we just took wickets at regular intervals and fielded really well. Took half chances and some really good catches.
Yeah, they were.
That was a big turning point in that game. I'd say 2 that stand out for me. First, and I've mentioned it already, Greenmount away, it's the very first game of the season.
Yeah.
That game we batted quite well. We bowled all right at the start, but they just seemed to slowly chase and get almost in range. And they were one point
it was so
where
slow,
it was so slow, and then they just went. And I think I got hit for something like maybe 15 off and over for my second to last over. And they needed to go at 5s to win the game.
That can happen at Greenmount, though.
Yeah, it's tiny, Joe.
Oh no, they hit me to the long boundary, Joe.
There were one that. Yeah, I think to be fair, Greenmount had that lad who played 4 games and got 4 70s, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then it just disappeared off face of earth.
But they were. Yeah. It was a position
so that was lucky for us.
It was a position where I think me and Ollie being a bowling attacker were really proud of us that game in terms of that fight at the end to dig in and get the wickets and pull off the win, because previously that would have been a game where heads would have gone down, we would have rolled over and lost. That was a big standout. And then Rotten stole away, as I mentioned as well, Shawcat getting 5 there. Who was it that we scored 300? Was that at Crompton away? Where Dec Stansfield? That was Crompton, wasn't it?
Yeah, then they looked like they were going to be in the chance of getting them, didn't we?
When opening battle with Tio. There's been a few, I think.
No, we're 260, we're at 270.
Yeah. I think the main characteristic that all the games that stand out to us were games that historically we would have lost. We showed some guts and we put a proper performance. And it's been nice throughout the season seeing it different people. While we've got the top run scorer, the top wicket taker, the top keeper, everybody has chipped in at some stage and won us games.
I'd go as far to say 9 out of the 11, even 10 out of the 11 lads have won us a game. Like literally have won us a game. So like Charlie said, everyone is contributing.
Really good. Gaz, Joe, is there anything else you'd like to ask before we wrap up?
Nope. I don't think so, Joe, no.
That's grand. So I will leave it with Dec and Charlie to finish off. Thanks, Gaz, and thanks, Joe, for your input. It's been really great.
Joe, there is just one thing. Well done hosting this week, by the way. It must be really good to not be grilled by the host by a ball hitting you in the chest or dropping a catch or something like that.
It's really nice, Gaz, not to need to have any opinions. I can just ask. I don't anyway, but even, to even like have to address the fact that I don't have any.
Well done, good job.
Thank you. That's really kind. And as I say, thank you for coming on and your input. It's been great. Really good chat. Dec, Charlie, thank you for coming on. Always great to speak to you. I think we should finish on what your kind of hopes and plans are for the next season and what you think.
Just be competitive, Joe. I'm not like we've kind of gone over earlier. I'm not expecting to go up there and win the league and cup, but I just want if the attitude's the same and the lads apply themselves the same that they have done this season, then there's absolutely there's no danger that we can't be competitive and give good teams a run for the money in that league next year and comfortably stay up. That's if we comfortably stay up next year, then I'll be happy. That'll do me.
Yeah, perfect summer for me is that changing room stays together and we go up and finish in that top 4, top 5. Maybe get 40 wickets myself, but that's me being great.
If you manage to keep your hand intact, Chaz, I think there's a chance.
It's caught all his catches recently, Joe. So
short leg as well.
I'm not going to say anything about dropping catches. Thanks again, everybody. Really great to speak to you.
Sorry, Joe. Can I just finish on one thing?
Yeah, of course.
Might sound a bit soppy, but I just kind of want to say a bit of a thank you because last weekend, obviously, for lads like me and Charlie, it don't really happen quite a lot that we get to experience the winning the league and on the balcony and stuff. So just a bit of a thank you for everyone who made that happen, and it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to be able to do that in front of people. So
for the club to put the money behind the bar, contribute to the champagne, people stay down, that meant a lot to us. So, thanks to everybody who was involved in that.
Brilliant. Well, you deserve it, chaps. Brilliant. A great season. Some great stuff. So you should be really proud of it. Well done.
Well done.
Fellas.
Cheers, guys.
See you later, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye. Cheers, lads.
Cheers.
Bye.
Gordon, send Morehouse to save the house.